A former slave attempted to lead a slave uprising right here in the Lowcountry. It happened long before the Civil War in the summer of 1822.
Our Samantha German has the story of how this failed rebellion would disrupt the way of life that was lived here for centuries to come.
To fully grasp how taboo it was to even mention the name Denmark Vesey after his attempt to lead what would have been one of the largest slave insurrections in the state, you would have to understand history experts today don't know how his last name is pronounced. You will hear Vesey, Vesey, and Vesey. There are no records of what he even looked like, but what is for certain is life in Charleston would be forever changed after Denmark Vesey left his mark.
Denmark Vesey.
Denmark Vesey.
Denmark Vesey.
We whispered his name. His name was whispered. It was a different narrative. Denmark Vesey, and I'm growing up, I'm being told that he was a terrorist.
South Carolina, not just Charleston, never recovered from the revelation of what almost happened.
Born in St. Thomas in 1767, Denmark Vesey was purchased by a ship captain named Joseph Vesey, who brought him to Charleston. He worked until he bought a lottery ticket one lucky day and won $1,500.
The captain allowed Denmark to purchase his freedom with a portion of the money and then keep the rest.
Now free, Vesey made his living as a carpenter, but free blacks were still very limited in their rights. Being literate, Vesey learned from newspapers of a successful slave insurrection in Haiti, creating the first independent black country in the Western Hemisphere.
This was a situation that was unprecedented in world history, where a servile population had risen up and struck a blow for their own freedom, but then went a second step to expel their colonial masters too, and took the whole country over.
An idea had been planted to pursue a similar uprising in Charleston.
Fires would be set strategically around the city. There were arsenals in downtown Charleston, so those would be broken into, weapons would be taken.
The ultimate goal was to get as many people as possible to the docks and onto the ships to sail out of the harbor with their eyes set on Haiti. But the plan was discovered when a domestic servant told their owner.
Word about the conspiracy was mentioned to someone considered to be untrustworthy, and indeed that person eventually spoke to others, and they encouraged him to inform his owner, and word was then taken to the authorities.
Vesey and 34 other people were tried and executed. A large number of enslaved people deemed to be part of the conspiracy were exiled from South Carolina. Some white men were even fined and jailed just for sympathizing with the movement.
To even talk about the idea of insurrection and rebellion was in and of itself in South Carolina rebellion.
Although the plan failed, fear was still exposed, puncturing life as Charlestonians knew it.
I mean, the whole system has crumbled. It's been destroyed. It's been invaded.
White authorities would destroy the African church where Vesey worshipped, and acts like the Negro Seamen's Act were passed.
If a ship docked in the port of Charleston, any free person on board that ship would have to be taken to jail and remain in jail for the duration of the ship's stay in the harbor here. And that was in an effort to try to prevent any communication between free blacks here and foreign free blacks.
Once Abraham Lincoln was elected as president, some white Carolinians believed the only recourse they had was to secede.
People never talk about secession as an effort to protect white lives. But if you read the letters of white South Carolinians, look at the speeches they gave, they frequently referred to the potential for Haiti happening right here.
I think it's important that we have an opportunity to tell our stories and for people to hear the stories, because if someone else is telling your story, the narrative may be different. I think it is time to have a different narrative, to talk about Denmark Vesey as being a liberator, of Denmark Vesey being a revolutionary.
A revolutionary, almost disrupting an entire state system of power, is no longer hushed in history, but finally acknowledged and said out loud. In Charleston, Samantha German, Live 5 News.